All right, make sure your paper is glued into your notebook. Today we're going to be reviewing just a few things about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division because we are going to be starting decimals. I want to make sure that you understand everything about whole numbers first. So go ahead, write the date at the top of your paper. Now we will begin. In math, an operation is a mathematical process. There are 4 that we use: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So there are 4. Go ahead and make sure you're writing this down with me. Now, of course you know those. One thing we might have missed, though, is there are certain words for each part of an equation. An equation is something that is equal to something else. Below you can see examples of equations. One for each of the operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now, when an equation asks you to do addition, it is asking you to put 2 things together. And because this is an equation, there is an equal sign, and this side of the equal sign is the same as this side of the equal sign. Now, the 2 numbers that you add together are called add-ins. Add-ins. And if you're only talking about one of them, then it would just be add-in without the S. Now, on the other side of the equal sign, if there's just one number, we call it a sum. These are important words to remember. Now, moving on to subtraction. When you're doing a subtraction problem, you're really just finding the difference between 2 numbers. Now, a subtraction problem has the big number. That number is called the minuend. And this is not a word that we use very often, but it is the real word for the largest number in a subtraction problem. Now, the number that you take away from the minuend is called the subtrahend. This is also another word that we don't really use, but the word that you have to know is what an answer to a subtraction problem is. And that is called the difference. And this one we use a lot. Difference. So multiplication is repeated addition, but it's also finding the number of groups there can be. In this problem, 6 times 4 means that there's 6 groups of 4. There's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups of 4, 5 groups of 4, 6 groups of 4, or 24. Now, the numbers that are being multiplied are called factors. Both of those are factors. And the answer is called the product. Product. All right, I made a little bit of a mistake. Multiplication isn't really finding, it's more of repeating the number of groups. So go ahead and fix that. So multiplication is repeating the number of groups, while division is dividing a number into groups. Now, there are three parts of a division equation. The largest number is called the dividend. So that's the biggest number. Now, you're going to divide it by the divisor. And your answer will be the product. Another thing that is important is that we remember to write our long division problems, that we always write the dividend, the biggest number, first. So I'm going to write 24 because that's the dividend, and then I'm going to write my division sign, and then I'm going to put my divisor on the outside because it's 24 divided by 6 equals 4. And in this problem, we don't have it, but sometimes we have a remainder, which is also another important division word.